Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about the perfect proof point for whiskey. Is there such a thing?
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about the perfect proof point for whiskey and why it might not be what you think it might be. We're almost going to dispel some myths today.
Oh.
Myth dispelling.
Mythbusters.
There we go. There we go. But before we get into that, we got to get into the first sip, which is a segment that we do at the start of every Tuesday episode where we try something for the first time. We've never tried it before, and it's totally blind.
Yes.
So we're not familiar with what it is. It could be allocated, it could be hyped up, it could be expensive, it could be available, it could be inexpensive. We don't know what we're getting into.
Don't know. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Yeah, we're going through this with you for the first time. So you get to see what it's all about and you get to see us do the reveal. So let's get into it.
All right.
Cheers.
This is dark.
Of note, this looks like motor oil in a glass.
I'm very scared.
We don't typically comment on the color of whiskey because it has nothing to do with the taste. But it's hard to ignore how dark this is. So let's get into the nose. Okay.
All right. It smells good.
Wow. I don't 100% know what I'm getting yet. I was expecting it to be much stronger on the nose than it is. And it's definitely coming out of the glass pretty good. But I don't know what I'm getting yet.
It smells like a log cabin, but like a new build log cabin.
Yeah. That's actually a really good note for this. It's like fresh wood, like fresh cut wood. Almost like the lumber department of a Home Depot.
Kind of, but like it's built into something. It's not just random wood pieces. It's like
no. There's some caramel under there. There's some fruity elements in there. There's a little bit of brown sugar. Smells like a very classic bourbon nose, but it is very wood forward.
This is very good smell. I hope it tastes good. Let's taste it.
Yeah, this is in your vein. Like there's sweetness there, but it's not overly sweet. It's tempered sweetness with some earthiness from the wood. So let's get into it.
That's my jam. Praise him. It's good.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh boy, that got earthy on the back.
I like it. I am not scared of you anymore.
Yeah, wow. It's woody. It's earthy.
It's good.
It's woody, it's earthy, it's good.
Yep.
Says Erin.
Those are my tasting notes.
Going back to the nose, like I'm getting some rye spice now.
That's because you think it's a rye, because I like it. You think it's a rye.
No, I'm not sure that it is a rye. It could be a high rye bourbon.
It could be just good.
I think it is good. But it's different. Like it's not as sweet as I tend to like. We've talked about this before. I'm sweet. She's bitter. So she tends to like more bitter things.
True.
And then I like more sweet things. But this is very, very interesting. I definitely need a second sip and a third sip and a fourth sip.
This can't be easy to get. This is going to be hard to get and probably expensive. There's no way this is easy to get. There's like a richness there. Oh, I'm getting like pancakes.
I was about to say maple syrup.
Pancakes. But like I literally just felt like I put a pancake with butter and maple syrup in my mouth. Yeah,
it's buttery, it's maple syrupy, brown sugar. It's second sip, it's going way away from any fruity sweetness I thought was in there. It's going completely away from that and totally into that dark flavor profile of pancakes and syrup.
What is this? I have to know.
It is so earthy on the nose though.
But it is so good.
Wow, what is that on the nose? I mean, it literally is like a new build log cabin.
It's not like a new build, like a new suburb, like a new cookie cutter house. It's like a log cabin, fairly new, the last few years. So maybe like there's a little bit of age on the wood in the log cabin. I'm sure there's probably plenty of age on this.
Yeah, that third sip is coming through with the oak is there. It's present, but not dominant. It almost was like the oak was just sitting back until the third sip. Like it's like I'm going to let you do your thing up there. And then it'll like, it doesn't need to make a scene. It doesn't need to introduce itself.
No.
It's just like, I'm over here, I'm chilling, but
it's very confident in who it is. It doesn't need to like make itself known.
Yeah, it doesn't need to brag and boast, but it is there.
Can we please find out what this is?
This pour is morphing over time, but I think I know where I'm at on it as far as scoring goes. Do you?
Yeah.
All right, let's go then. Nose flavor experience. Where are you at on this glass?
I'm going to give it a thumbs up on nose. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up on flavor. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up on overall
Wow,
experience.
you are feeling generous with your thumbs.
I am. If we did 3 thumbs, I would give it 3 thumbs up on experience, because overall experience of this was, I think because I was very scared, it bumped up the experience for me because I was scared because it was so dark, and it's really good.
Yeah, I'm going to go thumbs up across the board, nose, flavor, and experience. It is good. It's surprising me in how it's presenting itself. I would almost go, you know what? I'll go thumbs up on nose, thumbs up on flavor, 2 thumbs up on experience. Typically, you need more proof to get 2 thumbs up on experience from me than this. But this is coming across like a really well-crafted product.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's such a balance here that is crafted really well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really impressed with this glass. I'm feeling like this is not available product.
It's going to hurt my heart.
Let's find out.
Let's be prepared. What is it?
It is an available product.
It is?
And it's a rye.
I'm so happy. What is it?
This is Sagamore Spirit Rye Double Oaked.
I've never heard of that before in my life, but I love it and I want it.
96.6 proof.
Okay, it drinks a little more than that to me.
It does. It does. I would have pegged this at an easy 100 proof. Wow. Okay. I like finished ryes. That's what I'm finding out.
So double oaked, is that kind of what I'm getting with
Yeah.
like the log cabin and then the pancakes?
Yeah. Yeah. That double oaking. So they age it in the initial barrel and they take it out and they put it in a second barrel. That's either flame charred like they do,
Okay.
like char level, whatever, or it's a toasted barrel or whatever. I'm not actually super familiar with Sagamore Spirit's process on their double oaked ryes. But this is a product that is very readily available.
Riddle me this. Is this a single barrel, like,
Nope.
or like a select
Nope.
small batch, any of those weird things where like I couldn't get this exact thing again?
No, we can go right down the street and get this bottle all day long for $60.
$60?
60 to $65.
You guys,
So you're in your happy place.
I am in my happy place. This was an amazing find, and I want us to get it right now.
So if you don't know Sagamore Spirit, this is really interesting.
I've never heard of it
Actually
before.
was just listening to the Bourbon Pursuit,
Okay.
biggest podcast, the podcast of bourbon.
Okay.
They had an episode recently that I was listening to with the founders of Sagamore Spirit, and it's really cool. This is their own product. They don't source this. They make it themselves. It's out of Maryland. I think Maryland. I'm almost sure Maryland.
Okay.
I should know that from having just listened to the episode.
It's okay.
But they're committed to making a really, really good product.
Well,
And they succeeded.
I will say that they made a really, really good product. I love this. This is amazing.
Man, this is a breakfast whiskey.
And also a dessert whiskey, but it's
Yeah.
not sweet. But also like just a nightcap whiskey.
Yeah,
it's just really good.
You can definitely pair this with some pancakes. Like, this is good. Like a Brenner whiskey.
Like a breakfast
for
and dinner.
dinner?
Breakfast
Yeah.
for dinner, yeah.
Dude, 96. Wow. I'm really impressed with this. Shout out to Sagamore Spirit for doing such a good
Yeah,
job.
seriously, guys. Like, cheers to you.
Yeah. And cheers to you for watching.
Yes,
So
thank you.
head down to the video description below and well, I was going to say tell them what to do, but she's busy enjoying her rye. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Let us know what you think
Josh
about
said.
this Sagamore Spirit Double Oaked Rye. Like, I am very impressed by this stuff.
I am as well.
Hit the subscribe button and click the little down arrow to see the video description, because what you'll find in there is a little Easter egg. Not really. It's the link to our Patreon community. And over there we have our community. We don't do social media. It's all over there.
We're not very active on social media, the
Yeah.
traditional social media. So we're a lot more active on our Patreon.
Right, exactly. So check out that over there.
Mhm.
We also have a spreadsheet with all of our scores for all of our pours that we taste blind here on the channel. And we have 2 additional episodes for our bonus content tier where we do, if you like this first sip thing, like this same type of thing happens over there twice a week, where we try something and it's oftentimes not blind. It could be international whiskeys. It could be a new bottle that we got in that we're super excited about. And then one step up from that is our Whiskey with Friends tiers, where you start to get into our private patron live streams that we do once a month. And then quarterly, we do a blind flight night where you can get in and participate in a blind flight with us. It's coordinated,
Super fun.
shows up at your door. and we sit down together and we sip through a flight. And yeah, absolutely ton of fun. Check that out in the video description below.
All right, so while I'm sipping this, I want you to get into our main topic.
All right, so we're talking about the perfect proof, and this is actually kind of a really good pour. I mean, we didn't plan this because this is random and blind.
Yeah.
But this is 96.6 proof, and what is the perfect proof for whiskey?
But
Is
see,
it 96.6?
This has so much flavor
Yeah.
that you would think it's a higher proof.
And I've certainly had pours with more proof than this that didn't have nearly as much flavor.
Mhm.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So I think when you're talking about the perfect proof for whiskey, it's a little bit of a misconception of thinking like, I only like low proof or I only like high proof. I will say that my personal range does tend to be somewhere in like 100 to 120 proof. It's kind of my perfect proof zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't tend to love pours under 100 proof, but this glass just proved that
You
wrong.
have. Yeah, I would say you have.
Yeah.
You like flavor and you like
Yes.
big flavor. So if you can have big
Rich
flavor, big and rich flavor, big and rich, isn't that it's a country band?
Yeah. That's like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Yeah.
That's what they sing.
Yeah.
When I was a UPS man, I used to deliver to John Rich's house.
You know, I went to a fundraiser at his house.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
For that.
The new house or the old house?
It's
the new build up on the hill, or the one that's like super modern, blocky with like a big breezeway?
I don't know. There was a pool in the middle, and Jules sang at it.
That's the old house.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're inside baseball right now, living in Nashville around country people.
It's for
and
it
all
was,
that stuff.
It's for that counseling center, a fundraiser for that counseling center.
Okay. That's cool. He's got a great American Bulldog. His Bulldog is super sweet.
Yeah.
Anyways, John Rich aside, I like big and rich flavor. Yes.
Yes.
I'm not big on big and rich music,
But you can
but
get
John Rich is great, and
big
this
and
pour
rich
is great.
flavor and a low proof, as we've just established.
Exactly. So don't get too hung up on proof if you're shopping on the shelves. Honestly, don't get too hung up on a bunch of stuff. Like a lot of people get hung up on proof. A lot of people get hung up on looking for age statements. A lot of people get hung up on looking for this, that, or the other. Honestly, as we've said before, you really are not going to know whether you like a whiskey or not until you try it. You can't even go off what we say. We like this. You may try it and absolutely hate it.
Right. And
that's just a fact.
that just goes back to what we kind of try to always say is that whiskey is subjective. Like if you align with my palate very frequently, chances are you will probably like this, but you might not because you're not me. So,
yeah.
And that's okay.
I think one of the best videos we've ever made is the one whiskey you should never buy. And you can check the video description below. I'll put it down there. But there are some serious, like there's no better video we've ever made, period. Not because it's a great video, but because the message behind it is spot on to this. So don't get too hung up on it. If you typically tend to like 80 to 90 proof pours, try to find you a really well-crafted 100 proof pour. You might find more flavor than you're used to, and you might really enjoy it.
Have some hits and misses before you find yours, but it's worth the journey, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's it for our main topic. What do we have for other stuff today?
This week we poing it up.
Poe it up.
So we mentioned the Bourbon Pursuit podcast earlier with the Sagamore Spirit guys, which that's a great podcast to check out too. But they're the biggest podcast in the bourbon space, to my knowledge.
Okay.
We're focusing in on a smaller podcast, and this is the Poe It Up podcast.
Which is an amazing name, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. POITUP. Poe It Up.
I love it.
And this is Mike and Devin, and I got turned on to this podcast from ADHD Whiskey, Matt Porter, and Dara from The Average Drinker. They just recently, as of the filming of this video, they recently had a charity drive, a charity fundraiser drive for the Marshall fires that happened in Colorado. And in Colorado just so happens to live Mike, who is one half of the Poe It Up podcast. And he is Bardstown Bourbon Company's second crowned World's Top Whiskey Taster, second to Matt Porter, the OG World's Top Whiskey Taster.
OG.
But
and if you haven't subscribed to Matt's channel, like
if you're watching us and you're not subscribed to Matt, I don't know what's happening in the world.
You need to just
you're living in the
subscribe
upside
to
down
ADHD
land.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Matt's amazing. He's so awesome. So for real, go subscribe to him.
Like good whiskey reviews with much better tasting notes that we have, and comedy gold.
And comedy.
So, his timing is impeccable.
Mwah.
But the Poe It Up podcast, those guys are great too. They come at it and they constantly have me laughing, and they're always bringing in a ton of good info. And Mike is a legit, really good taster.
Yeah.
And Devin's great too. Like, I mean, Mike won World's Top Whiskey Taster at Bardstown Bourbon Company. You don't do that unless you got some skills,
True.
some serious skills.
True.
So check it out. We'll put a link to the podcast in the video description below.
That's a mouthful.
You know what I meant. It's down there. Check it out if you're looking for some more content because they are great.
That's it for this week, guys. Till next week.
Poe it up.
Poe it up.